Is this... Is it already time for the video? Okay. Alright, well, you know me. And you know this is Project 2, so let's go. We are exploring two examples and breaking them down with levels of analysis to better determine the reasoning behind each. The levels that we are looking at are the individual, the state, and the system. For our purposes here, the individual represents the lowest order of analysis. It typically represents an individual person and the self-motivated reasons a person might have for a given act. The state represents a government with political borders and an associated society that comprises it. State-level motivations come from within the borders. The system represents everything outside the confines of the political borders of the state. This includes the environment, the laws of physics, and even other states that affect the initial state. The first example asks the question, why are you wearing what is on your feet? For me, that thing on my feet is Vessi's. Vessi footwear is known for making shoes that are light, comfortable, and most importantly, on my feet. And waterproof, allowing you to walk in almost any terrain while keeping your feet as dry as the vacuum of space. Check out their new weekend shoe, which I'm wearing. Grab yourself a pair and use offer code TECHLINK to get $25 off each pair at vessi.com/techlinked. On an individual level, I wear Vessi's because they're comfortable. The shoes are breathable and lightweight, so my feet stay at a comfortable temperature and don't bother me while I wear them. On a state level in the United States, our society and culture determines that wearing shoes is indeed normal, and not wearing shoes in a public setting is typically not normal. In particular, tennis shoes in a casual setting are normal in the United States, and that is one reason why I wear these shoes, so that I fit in. At the system level, things like weather and topography affect footwear. In Prescott in particular, we get a lot of extremes as far as weather is concerned. Such extremes include heat, extreme cold, extreme rain, and extreme snow. Vessi's are great for all of these things since they are warm but still breathable, and they are naturally water resistant. For me, the primary reason I wear Vessi's is motivated by the system level. Protecting my feet from the environment is a priority for me, and these shoes help keep my feet comfortable and dry year-round. The second example looks at the reasons behind why global tourism was comparatively so low during the summer of 2020. Unless you have been living on an island for the past 2 years, you have probably heard of SARS-CoV-2 and its associated global pandemic. This virus is no doubt the driving force for the decrease in 2020 tourism, but what is the specific reason for that beyond just blaming the pandemic? Well, on an individual level, there is a real concern that some people have for their own well-being. When faced with the real possibility of contracting a dangerous, highly infectious, and potentially deadly disease, many people do indeed choose to limit their exposure to others. Choosing not to go on vacation to foreign destinations and heavily populated areas is consistent with this. Biologically speaking, self-preservation is the primary objective of most all organisms on Earth. Meanwhile, at the level of the state, one's ability to travel may be determined by what restrictions their country of residence imposes on them. In the United States, as the pandemic surged, travel abroad was in many cases restricted. Cruise ships ceased travel, and many flights abroad were otherwise made more difficult to take for the sole purpose of tourism. Indeed, many could not travel due to restrictions at the state level. At the system level, there were many restrictions on foreign travel imposed by other countries as well. Italy and New Zealand are a couple of prominent examples that come to mind of countries that shut down their borders to foreign travel during the pandemic. Restrictions like these make tourism to those places impossible, and were undoubtedly a reason for reduced global tourism. Which of these is the primary reason for reduced travel, I think depends on a case-by-case basis. Each person will have their own reasons for traveling or not. For some, the fear of contracting the virus is enough to stop them from traveling in the first place, while for others who are perhaps a bit less concerned, it might take a restriction at the state or system level to prevent them from traveling.